My name is Anna, and I'm the responsible for the strategic agenda of sustainability and circular economy at CITEV. So I would like to present you these, what are the Portuguese and the North region specifically capabilities on circular economy in textiles specifically. And so giving you the regional context, so the Portuguese ecosystem for textiles is very strong. So we are, especially in the location, because we have most of the companies within a radius of 100 kilometers, around 12,000 companies, the working force with more than 130,000 employees. And most of them are small and medium enterprises. And this makes the Portuguese textile cluster a natural cluster, and makes the proximity and the trust and flexibility and collaboration a very strong capability of our sector. So regarding CITEV, we are the technological center for the textile and clothing industries in Portugal, and we have different kinds of activities. We have also representation in other countries, but the most important thing is we are a private organization with the more than 700 associates from the industry. So companies, small and medium enterprises, Portuguese ones, are the most important associates for us. And we also, sorry, I can't, okay. We have also the Portuguese textile cluster under our representation, and the interclustering in Portugal with other sectors is also a very strong capability of our center. CITEV has also representation on the ETP, the European Technology Platform, as well as Textranet, and we are also the national representatives in Portugal for the Ocotex Association. So our main areas of expertise are these ones listed here. So testing, product and process certification, research, product design. Now this sustainability and circular economy has also become a very important area, as well as digitization and industry 4.0. Also the standardization and certifications are one of our areas of intervention, which makes us work a lot in terms of materials, also with companies, because we representing, for example, the Textile-Association, we have a strong connection with all the testing that is done to materials in general. And then, so these are some figures and some numbers about our activities. So we realize more than 100,000 tests per year, certification products as well. So we follow more than 600 standards, and we run normally more than 40, and I guess this year more than 50 national projects together with companies, and we are also participating now in different European consortiums, and also specifically on this recycling topic. So my focus on our expertise was the recycling, which was the topic of the meeting. So in terms of recycling, we have internally the mechanical recycling equipment which was installed last year, and we are running already testing since synthetics to natural fibers. Our production capacity goes 80 to 100 kilos per hour in terms of machinery. We are at the moment running a little bit low because of our our human resources that we have allocated to the equipment at the moment, but we have the capacity to increase. Also on the biochemical recycling equipment, we have already some pilot laboratory scale that allows us to do some testing on recycling, on chemical recycling, but we will have a project starting soon, which was approved to work one of the parts is exactly to work in recycling, chemical recycling. So we will have also, let's say, semi-industrial pilot line here on our facilities. We can also do after doing the testing about the recyclability of the materials in terms of mechanical and chemical processes. We are also able to see if we can do the spinning. So if the fiber that we get after these processes is able to be spun or not. I didn't put any other slides because I think well, our areas of activity are in a wide range. So of course we also have like dyeing and finishing, and then the garment making, and all of these capacity related to the entire segment of textiles. But I think this we can discuss later if someone has some questions. In terms of future development, as I said, we are participating in a lot of projects with companies, and most recently also in an European scale with consortiums on the recycling area. But our intention is always to further development on recycling technologies, collaborate on the creation of an European textile recycling strategy in order to fulfill also the legal requirements that all of us will have in 2025, contribute to the promotion of this of the treatment of the textile waste, as well as design products to be more durable, repairable, recyclable, and collaborate to keep these materials in a closed loop, let's say, as long as possible, in order also to decrease our dependency of other continents in terms of raw materials. So in a nutshell, this was my overview of what we can do in this area. But I'm available to answer your questions if needed. Sorry.
Thank you very much, Hannah. I think that also this presentation is very interesting and put, for example, other example of recycling technologies and that we can integrate also in this use case. I take very briefly the chance to answer also to Susanna that write in the chat. Of course, this event is just the first step of the process to create the use case and to formalize the topics that we will then go, that we will be the basis of the activities of this use case. So for sure, this type of discussion will continue also later on, and there will be the possibility also for other regions to express their interest and share their capabilities. Okay, we move on with the Wallonia region. I leave the floor to Philippe Collignon.
Good afternoon.
Hi, good afternoon.
Okay, so let me see if I can find presentation somehow. Right, but the right button seems to be then behind this. All right, yeah. Can you see the presentation?
Perfectly.
Okay, so thank you for having me here. And I must say it's my real first time being involved in a Vanguard project. So I hope what I will tell you in a few minutes will be relevant, but I've seen already a few links with what is being said before. So I'm Philippe Collignon, and I'm consultant in circular economy for Textile, based in Belgium. Right, the regional context. In fact, I looked at it from the Circular Wallonia strategy perspective. So in fact, for the Walloon region from Belgium, there is a strategy that was implemented as of last year, actually. And as Textile, we are coordinating a task force around the textile, which is one of the 7 priorities that have been selected for this strategy. We have already several action plans in motion or in the making. So for the Walloon textile industry, mostly producing textiles, technical textiles and upholstery. So we have polyester, aramid, so quite a lot of technical. On the industrial scale, it's really more on the technical side, I must say. And then if we are looking at the much smaller structures, you would find let's say all kinds of textile applications. Eco-design is a clear priority in everything that we do, and I'll come back on this. But this is really the center, which I think is also a good thing, as it's a very good starting point when we try to develop something around circular economy. Textile, in terms of expertise and capabilities, so we are an expertise and research center for the Belgian textile and plastic industries. So some of us focus areas are the use of alternative chemicals, use of bio-based and or recycled materials. Circular economy is really growing in importance. There's really a lot of research and development. So in fact, I think we are 160 people these days in Textile, and you will find a lot of researchers in there working on lots of projects at different levels. Product and material analysis, so we have different labs working on, let's say, on basic physical, chemical test, but also really working on quite high-tech stuff around bacteria and stuff like that. So we have a consultancy service. We do product certification for Belgium, and I believe also for Luxembourg and a part of the Netherlands. So important activity as well. We provide professional trainings, info sessions, and things like this. A few of the projects that I wanted to mention that probably have a link in with what we are talking about today. So as I said, we are really in a lot of projects, very different scales. So it goes from, let's say, European consortia to smaller level, or maybe some projects with a single company for specific projects. Earware is one of them. So we have just heard about this one before. Decode is another important one, and so here the purpose was really to see how we can recycle coated fabrics. So how can you separate the coating from the fabric and then recycle both? So there you're really textile and plastic all together. Twin is now still in progress till the end of the year, and it's promotion of circular economy. This is an Interreg project. Retex is finished since the end of last year, I believe, and this was about recycling of polyester cotton, and cotton with the creation of value chains. Then we have a study on design criteria for durable products. So this is the kind of studies that we are also making together with other organizations, or the study on recycling that has been published by the EU Commission recently, on which we worked with a German office and Vito also in Belgium. So when I link it to now, if I focus on the Walloon region, so as I said, we are coordinating the textile task force for Circular Wallonia. So here we are looking at the whole textile sector from the region, from tiny businesses to industry production plants. And obviously, I mean, we are looking for collaborations outside of the region. We know we cannot just be only focused on the region, and priorities, as I said, so eco-design, definitely big one, but also a lot of activity to come around sorting and dismantling and remanufacturing. So big activities on these, where we could also have easily a link with the plastic for all kinds of textile waste. And yeah, it's a fast developing network. There's a lot going on these days. Future development, right, some of the key challenges maybe to go to the essentials. So sorting and dismantling of textiles efficiently to supply monostreams for recyclings in all types of fibers. So whether it's a cotton or stuff like that, but definitely the plastics or the synthetic fibers as well. Sorting of and dismantling of products containing high-value synthetic fibers. So as I said, in the Walloon region, we have a few industrial plants really working on technical fabrics and also on recycling of technical stuff. And around some high-value fibers, there's a desire to try to improve the ways to dismantle and to recycle this kind of material. Then we would like to develop solutions for recycling of industrial waste for intermediary quantities, also in synthetic fibers. This is really a kind of in-between situation where we are not properly covered in terms of value chains for the recycling. So eventually, most of it gets lost in the end, which is not a desirable result, obviously. And we would like to gain efficiency also in small-scale initiatives with cross-learning, networking, communication. We see also a pretty good potential by multiplying the right initiatives at smaller level. Thank you.
Thank you, Philippe. I don't know if there are questions, otherwise we will discuss later on. But as you have said, there was lots of synergies also with other presentations, because not only on recycling processes, but also on dismantling and sorting, of course, these are topics that are shared by the different presentations. Okay, we leave the floor to the last presentation of today, that is Florian Kammleitner, sorry for my bad pronunciation, from Austria, that will share the expertise also of this region.
Welcome everybody, I will share my slides with you.
Yes.
I hope everybody of you can see it.
Yes.
Perfect. Thanks to Nina for the invitation to give a short overview about what is going on in Lower Austria about textile recycling. I will really be just short and give just a short overview of the activities. I think the problems with textile recycling you all know. The biggest problem are the costs. Then we have the problem with the collection. The waste legislation framework gives us the aim that textiles need to be collected separately by 2024, if I'm correct. So this is in Austria a big problem. We already discussed today the extended producer responsibility, or will it be something that will get a directive in Austria equal, like for example mixed electric waste, that mattresses need to be collected separately, clothes need to be collected separately, and how this is going on. So this is especially in the municipal waste collection a big topic. However, then there is, in Austria, there's no established or hardly any established recycling business model. They're only going on business model with separated clothes or second-hand and the collection of clothes by NGOs, which are then sorted manually in, how shall I say, I think if I'm correct, in Italy and Slovakia and in other countries. And then some of them are prepared for the export to other countries. Some of them are prepared for the selling in Europe, and others are just burned. So the most important treatment for textile wastes is waste incineration, which is quite heavily developed in Austria with, I think, near 5 waste incineration plants in Austria. So this is what we have in the region, and the big topic is, I think, this is something quite still interesting. In Lower Austria, we still have something like a fully value chain of textiles. And the interesting topic is the rental textiles, like Salesiana Mitex, who rent clothes for hotels, for hospital and so on, have there a big role. And it was possible that we have a small cotton manufacturer also still existing in Lower Austria. And this leads me to our most successful cooperational product, which was called Textomat, with 2 directives. Directive number 1 was post-industrial scrap from the production of polyamide filters and felts from Andritz via mechanical recycling. These are technical textiles. And the other one, which is I think the most interesting, is called cotton polyester mixed textiles from Salesiana Mitex. So used towels, used beddings, used linens that were enzymatically separated, and then a glucose solution and polyester was established. The project management, the building up of the project, and also the end results we had within the plastics cluster in Lower Austria. I'm just proud on this video because it's quite nice. What did we do? And this is also why we came to Nina. We have some parallels also from the resin text and from the know of the enzymatic high rate hydrolysis. So one most important part of this project was the enzymatic separation from glucose, and then we have a polyester. And what we also have in Lower Austria and in Austria is that we have the technology leaders of polyester recycling technologies, how shall I say, mostly for bottles, but also applicable for textiles. And this is why there's also big interest in polyester fiber recycling. The process was textiles, waters, and enzymes. We have these 2 streams, polyester fibers and a glucose solution. And then the next step is that the polyester just go the same way, like, for example, polyester flakes from the bottle. So the fibers get regranulated, then go the direction of a polyester repolycondensation in a solid state polycondensation, or also available technology in Austria's liquid state polycondensation. And what we get is a recycled PET filament. We did not produce staple fibers because this was quite challenging to find someone near us who can produce staple fibers. But with the filament, we were able to produce a yarn. And with this yarn, we produced, you see it here in the right down corner, the skeleton of a cotton towel. And then we just needed to add the cotton sleeves into the towel, and we had a towel with some % of recycled polyester fiber content, which was for us a quite really great result within this project. But it turned out that there was a big project. We covered the whole value chain of such a possible process within the project, but the problem is, in the end, we had the challenge that no one wanted to take over this business model. And this led us to, for the future developments, and why we're also quite interested in the vanguard use case, is we have 4 activities in the field of textile recycling we would like to focus on. The first is cradle to cradle. We have a quite strong network within the bioplastics community here, and we have in Upper Austria also still a company who produce staple fibers from polypropylene, but also they have a big experience with PLA and PBS. And there are big fields of application for this. With pet to pet, I just want to tell this is our most interesting activity at the moment, which we really just want to copy the business model of the pet bottle recycler pet to pet, because the owner of this company, it's an SME, are the big bottlers in Austria like Coca-Cola and others. And they founded a company that recycle bottles. And exactly this concept of that brand owners or bigger textile owners have one problem in common. It's a textile waste, and they make from this common problem a business model. And this is something what we are right now trying to develop. The others is the topic of textile to textile. It's I think it's already not a startup anymore. It's a quite high-tech company that use ionic liquids that would like to produce cellulose filaments from waste cellulosics, and this could be also something where we can have a part in the textile to textile recycling. And with the second hand, it's just I'm working for the EcoPlus, for the regional development agency. And this is also something where I would like to help communes to develop the collection system for textile in the region, that we also just collect, that is also possible to use or to recycle, and that there is something that we can use for the future. My contacts are here, Florian Kammleitner, my email address. Thank you very much for the possibility to give here a short presentation. And I just stopped sharing my screen. It's already at the beginning of the COVID-19 pandemic. I use GoToMeeting quite often, but now I just use MS Teams, so it's already not that familiar anymore for me. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. There are questions for this presentation or for the ones that we have seen before? Okay, just to recap, we have talked about very different activities that could be related to this use case. So, for example, we talk about the connection and the symbiosis also with other type of value chains, and to reuse the material in different applications. So we heard about coatings, packaging, and so on. We talk a lot about recycling technologies and challenges, not only at technological level, but also at legislation level, so also related to the alignment of policies among the different regions, about the certifications and something like this. And of course, we talk also about the challenges to arrive at the recycling, so all the problems related to the collection and the sorting of materials. And of course, another important topic that we mentioned in quite all the presentation was related to circular design, not only in terms of recyclability, but also increase the durability of the material or add some high-tech features. And also in this case, not only on wearable, on fashion, but also for furniture, textile, non-wearable textile. So I think that there is lots of materials that could be used, and in some way that should also be we need to find a framework for this use case, to find a specificity, to try to describe it somehow. And in relation to these next steps, I don't know if Giacomo, you want to say something.
Yes, because today it was a sort of start of the process, just to know each other, to understand a little bit general priorities. But now I think we should have clarify better our scope and our goal. So as a group of Vanguard region, which is not finalized today, I guess, we still will have new regions coming. As a group of vanguard regions interested in textiles, we want to, first of all, have very clear ideas of European network of recycling, how to call recycling hubs, recycling plants, okay, really operating in the regions. To do that, we want, I think, and we have to start targeting existing funding opportunity to submit projects, not in general, but according to a common vision that we have to develop and we do not have now. Because today, well, we stayed quite general in what we have told each other. I feel that we have to do something in the next steps. First, we have to map better ourselves. So what are the companies and what are the stakeholders that we have in our ecosystems and what are their capabilities? This is the first thing. We have to open a little bit our industry, our university, and our capability. Second, I had another idea I noticed while listening to the presentations. What are the available recycling technologies that we have today in the region and what is their TRL? So we have listened to examples of projects, for example, dealing with very specific things, very interesting. So let's make the list or the map of which technologies do we have or which technologies we are working on at the moment, at least in the research phase, that we want to upscale. This is not clear. And then the third thing is that we should define better the topics we want to address. Some of you, they have told very interesting and good and precise things. For example, the last presentation of Austria was very precise. Also, I noticed down the interesting issue of Friuli Venezia Giulia willing to work on wood-based textiles or combining textiles and furniture. Because here we do not have to overlap. So every region should have a specialization on the one hand, or we also can target a diffused network of similar plants, but we have to avoid fragmentation. If we do that, there should be, I don't know, a developing group and then the others, they are replicators. I don't know, but we have to go at the topic level. So I think the exercise that we will organize at the level of the pilot is exactly to start now with a better mapping of what we have, a better understanding, and also then we could, but this is just a proposal, we could go for some additional creative phases where we find topics that could fit with projects based on the map that we do. We could have a portfolio of projects. We need to have many, I think. We know, on the other hand, what are the calls, but we have to start from mapping. This is my feeling. I don't know what the other colleagues think.
If I can jump in, I agree. Of course, we try to start a little bit with this circulating the table that you, for example, have shown, Giacomo, in your presentation. So we have several tables that are filled in, and I think that could maybe be the first action, so that everyone that pitched today would fill in this table, and then we would prepare a map out of the information we get. And definitely this is very important in order to come to topics of common interest for the project preparation.
Okay, there are also already formats at the pilot and demo case level to make this mapping, which we will use. So great. Now we go back to the pilot for a moment, also with Marcello, who left, I think, and we try to organize this process. But it's clear that now we want to build a common, well, we need to tell a story. All together, we need to tell a story, not that one region does this or that or interested in this or that, but in the future, we wanted to build this integrating such complementarities in terms of specialization. And in the meanwhile, we go targeting existing opportunity. For example, it's clear that the next I3 window is one of these, I guess. But in the meanwhile, there could be others. So I propose we organize such a process together with the demo case, Slovenia, inside the pilot, and then we can have a follow-up of that. So we can share things to be compiled and input to be thought offline somehow. And then we can organize another meeting in the frame of Vanguard DSM, something like in 1 month time, in order to have some time to do some job.
Yes, definitely, I agree.
Okay. In the meanwhile, if the companies or the organizations connected today, they want, however, to have additional information, they are curious about who spoke or the company they saw written in one slide, we can also start to have some networking, of course, because this should be interesting business for companies. I would really like, as pilot co-leader, to have companies on board, really. We facilitate the work as clusters, but then the work should be done by companies, universities, and research centers that at the end will participate to the projects and will implement and uptake. So we should create something interesting for companies' businesses. Okay, that were just my ideas from my side. Now we heard a lot of things, and we have to go back, think about it. I personally really thank all of you because it was very, very interesting, very, very interesting. A lot of insights, also some new things for me, and we have to extract value out of it. I don't know if the colleagues have something to add. Joan, if you are still there, or anybody else.
No, Giacomo, nothing to add, just to congratulate to all the participants and also to thank to Elena and the team that has prepared the session. I'm afraid that we are very out of time, so I suggest to finish the session here. So nothing else to add from my side.
Okay.
Yeah, I would just like to thank, in the name of the Slovene partners that introduced the idea of this use case for everyone that joined the meeting today and replied to our invitation to pitch especially. And of course, AFIL for all the support in the organization. Maya.
Yeah, thank you very much. I would also like to thank Giacomo and Elena for organizing this really, really interesting and useful event. I think we now have this core group of 7, I believe, regions who are who presented today. The group is of course open, and we will build on that. And as you mentioned already, now it's the time to do the list of contacts to share information among each other and to start actually building this user case within the ESM. I can also offer our website, SBRA website, to upload all the presentations if that would be interesting, and also to share then the link with all the participants today so that everyone could see what are the what was presented today, and maybe somebody could have further ideas and we could also attract more regions.
Okay, sure. Of course, we can diffuse and spread also within Vanguard what we did today.
Yes, definitely. Thank you very much for all the support.
Thank you very much then. Have a nice weekend to all of you.
Yes.
You too. Have a nice weekend.
Thanks.
Thank you very much.
Bye bye.
Thank you.
Thanks, Giacomo.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.